Hello again. Welcome to the university campus here in Liverpool. And today I've come out with a specific idea in mind, unlike my aimless wandering video, which you may have seen already. Recently, I discovered a new camera shop in Liverpool. Well, it's been there for a couple of years actually, but for the first time I realised how good it was. And for an old fart like me, it's a proper camera shop. And it's actually called The Real Camera Company. I'll put a link to their website down below. And they sold me a lens. I splashed out the enormous sum of 20 quid on a manual focus Yashinon 50mm f2, and it's the ML, I think. Yeah, it's the ML version, not the DSB, which were regarded as slightly better, but I think that's a load of baloney anyway, to be honest with you. The interesting thing is that they sold me a broken lens, and I knew all about it. So I brought it out with me this morning. I'm going to put it onto the EM1 Mark II and see what results I can get from it. Whoever owned this before, I suspect, tried to repair it, maybe free off the aperture blades. They took it to pieces and couldn't put it back together again. So there is no aperture mechanism in the lens whatsoever. Apologies for the noise in the background. There's absolutely no aperture mechanism in this whatsoever. So it means that everything I shoot is going to be wide open at f2. So it's 50mm, which means 100mm equivalent on micro four thirds. Let's see what I can get from the university campus. Quite interesting, this lens, because as well as having no iris mechanism whatsoever, it was also advertised as being having interesting characteristics, because there was some separation of the elements inside, which is really what intrigued me, to be honest with you. But looking at it, I can't see anything, and to be perfectly honest, the results I've got so far don't indicate to me anyway that there's anything majorly wrong with it optically apart from the diaphragm. But we will see. Have a look at the results, I guess. One thing you can guarantee, that on midweek days like this, when all the students are attending lectures and things, it gets rather busy around here. Quite a lot of building work going on as well. But there's a good mix of architecture, and I thought probably for this lens, architecture might be a good test. See if how much distortion it gives. Barrel or pincushion, see how soft it might be at the edges. All that kind of thing. Time will tell. just taking a breather. So everything that you see this morning is taken using the EM1 Mark II with the 50mm f2 Yashin, for better or worse. Now, the real camera company, I'm not going to big it up too much, but there will be, God willing, a video that I'm going to do actually in the shop in the next month or so, because if you're old school like me, you would love it. I believe they have a branch in Manchester as well, but it is full of vintage as well as digital cameras of all types. Lovely selection of Leica, Hasselblad, Nikon, umpteen dozen different independently made lenses from the 60s, 70s and 80s. They have enlargers, they have darkroom gear, they sell film, you name it. Thoroughly recommend it. So watch out for that video. I'm hoping it's going to be an entertaining one for you. And I'm looking forward to seeing what results come out of this rather battered. Well, actually, it's not that battered, but this mistreated 50mm lens. Apologies for the gulls that you can hear flying around. They're nesting, and I guess it won't be long before they hatch their new brood. So they're being quite raucous at the moment, sadly. Behind me there, you see one of our Georgian streets. This is the Georgian Quarter now, which sort of backs onto the university campus, which is over that way. Most of these lovely Georgian houses, of course, have been converted into apartments, which is a shame, but it's understandable. So what do you reckon? Am I completely crackers? Spending 20 of my hard-earned pounds on a broken lens? I hope not. I love messing around with quirky things like that. And let's see what the images look like. I've also recently, and this will form another video, purchased a 50mm Zuiko 1.8. Specifically because that's going to get mounted on the tiltable adapter, which I featured in the video quite a while ago now. And at the time I was using it with a 28mm lens on it, which I don't think really best suits it. So I've opted for a 50mm, so 100mm equivalent, in the hope that the tilt on the adapter will give even more pronounced out of focus results. So watch this space for that one as well. There's an interesting feature which probably 90% of you will find incredibly boring. But if you ever wondered what these circular manhole covers are in the pavement, really along more or less every street in the Georgian Quarter, they're actually covers for the old coal cellars. So the coal man would come along and tip his sacks of coal straight in through the hatch there, and they'd end up in the cellar down below. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the sum total of my history segment for today. Always try and put something in. Did a few quirky ones as well. Let's see what they come out like. I I hope you enjoy this really quite short and odd little video of mine. As I make my way back home, of course, all it needs for me to do is to say, enjoy your photography, look after yourselves, and I'll see you very soon for another video. Bye-bye for now.